Alright folks, long time no see. It's been a while since I've done like a sit down video recording at my desk, and I have a lot of reasons to do so now. First up being what you're seeing on your screen, the gear and unboxing and demo and review of the brand spanking new Behringer Ultra DI DI600P passive DI box. High performance, by the way. I'll do a little close up there. We're going to go ahead and unbox this thing, take it from the clamshell. I haven't even used it yet. It's probably been sitting on my desk nearly a week now. And just haven't had a chance to check it out. A lot of stuff going on. So, let's go ahead and unbox that. There you go, unboxed. Just like that. It comes with just a little backing insert thing. You got your manual here concerning installation and a bunch of little other manual things here. Let's see what we got. Looks like maybe a quick 2 or 3 quick start guide things, kind of. Well, they're all in different these are all in different, like Korean and oops, there went Popeye. Korean and like Japanese language, so we can toss those. Don't need those. Popeye, I gotta figure out some way to keep him up there. He likes to fall off. Alright, then we got the actual English version, the US version. So tells you about how to connect it. You got an input, you got an output to the instrument, and you've also got an XLR out to where you can put it to your mixer. Taking a signal from a speaker output. Okay, so you can looks like it's hooked it to a power amp. Yeah, connected to a power amp output. Sometimes you want to take a signal directly from a speaker output, even though just one speaker output is available. Don't understand that. That warning, it would be damaged due to overload. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. It said when you set the Insta Amp switch to amp, you can connect an amp output to your mixing console up to 3,000 watts into 4 ohms without worrying that it will be damaged due to overload. So this is kind of like a filter to prevent it being overloaded, the speaker being overloaded from a power amp. The way I take it now, I'll let you figure that out for yourself. If you're using a tube amp, you must connect a speaker or similar load resistance to the parallel 1/4 inch TS output. Before connecting to a loudspeaker connector, please make sure that the ground lift switch is in lift position, no ground connection. This prevents accidental shorting of the amp output. Besides, the tip of the input connector should be connected to the speaker connector marked with red. The metal casing of the DI600SP should in no case have physical contact to other equipment. Alright, so please read carefully the safety instructions. Okay, so according to this, why do you need a DI box? Okay, so it says here, being on stage or in the studio, musicians often look for ways to connect certain signal sources directly to a mixing console, or in my case, maybe even a computer. Even though this approach has obvious advantages, there are still some technical hurdles obstructing its implementation. For example, keyboards seldom feature balanced outputs, and guitars cannot be directly connected to a mixing console because of the high impedance guitar signals. The DI600P lets you directly tap into a high impedance, unbalanced signal, for example, the signal between a guitar and a guitar amp. From there on, you can feed the signal directly to a mixing console. So in my case, I got this DI, not that I can't get it to my computer, because I've got my 11 rack that allows me to do that. I've also got the Behringer Euphoria UMC 204 HD audio interface to allow me to do that. So why do I need a DI box? Well, because in this room, for some reason, there is massive ground loop or some kind of hum that I just have not been able to get rid of unless I go in a different room. And I don't want to move all my recording stuff into a different room. So I thought, I'm trying to figure out ways to eliminate some of this noise. And from research, without having to buy power amps and, outlet strips and things like that, the more I looked at this DI box, the more I thought, well, that's got to be the solution, especially with this ground lift switch. So here's what it looks like, okay? And I will point to the controls as it shows it to me, okay? So you have an input, all right? That's where you use your 1/4 inch cable connector. You have let's go in the order that is listed here on the paper. The output is down here. This is the unbalanced parallel output connected to the input of your backline or monitor amplifier. And it says because the connectors 1 and 2 are wired in parallel, the output connector can be used both as an input and as a direct unbalanced output of the input signal. For the latter, you can, for example, connect output with the input of a monitor amplifier. Not exactly sure what that means, but to me it sounds like these are wired in parallel, so I can actually use the output as a direct unbalanced. Let's see. The output connector can be used both as an input and as a direct unbalanced output of the input signal. The output connector can be used as an input and as a direct unbalanced output of the input signal. So input, output, but it can be used as an input. Well, I don't understand that. Unless it's coming in here and coming out here. There's no graph for that. It doesn't even show that in here. Like they got these little, scenarios. It doesn't show that. So I'm not exactly sure what they're saying there. Okay, anyway, let's keep going. That was 1 and 2. We have 3, which is the Xlr output right here. By the way, let me just go ahead and show you that view. Okay. You got the Xlr output right there, along with another switch we'll talk about. This is the balanced mic level output. Use a high quality balanced microphone cable to establish connection. Number 4, that's the ground lift. That would be right here. Actually says ground or lift, depending on which way it's switched. Okay, let's see how it works. So that's ground lift right here, this little switch. It says with this switch, you can fully separate input and output grounding. Depending on how the equipment to which your DI600P is connected is grounded, using the ground lift switch lets you lower hum noise or ground loops. That's the main reason I got this, the DI box. When the ground lift switch is on lift position, the ground connection is interrupted. So, not exactly sure what that means. We'll try it in both and see what happens. The Inst Amp Attenuation Switch. That would be number 5. So that is this one right here. That one is a 30 dB. Let's see. The Inst Amp Attenuation Switch, 30 decibels, increases the operating range of the DI600SP considerably. From low-level signals of a high-impedance mic or guitar, INST, the instrument switch, all the way to speaker connectors of a guitar amplifier, or the amp side of the switch. Right now it is set to instrument, so apparently this gives you a 30 decibel boost. I've been hearing reviews on how it really overwhelms, almost like has too much of a boost, which I guess is kind of a good thing if you can dial it down using a pad control or something like that on your audio interface. We'll experiment with it. And then the switchable filter for guitar applications is right next to that. That is this one right here. So we have a filter on and a flat or a filter. It says it is switchable filter for guitar applications, 7.5 kilohertz, -3 decibels. So I'm guessing it kind of maybe rolls off some kind of edge or something. Okay, so the standard applications here, the one I'll probably be doing is the guitar to the amp. In this case, the guitar to the 11 rack with this in between. Okay, I won't be using an output to a mixer or anything like that. It shows the standard application of a DI box. Any DI box, not just this one, but any one. The signal feeding the amplifier remains unchanged. So in other words, it goes to the DI box and then into the amp. So that remains unchanged, the amp from something else. The low impedance balance signal is forwarded to the mic input of the mixing console if you use a mixer. This application has its advantages, particularly with bass guitars, because very few microphones can linearly transmit bass frequencies with high signal levels. If you're using effects, insert the DI600P after the effects device so that you can monitor the effects via the PA system or the recording as well. So that brings me to a question. I'm using effects. I'm using the 11 rack for my effects. So now I've got a different situation here. So we're going to try this scenario at least 2 ways. today. We're going to do a guitar into the box, into my actual effects, like my wah pedal, my Tube Screamer, and my Joyo Ultimate Drive. Then that's going out to the 11 rack, okay? And I'd like to try it after those effects, after the distortion and all that, into the 11 rack. But now, according to this, it says that somehow I have to run it out. I have to run it out of the 11 rack into the DI box, then maybe to the computer or the mixing console. Now, I can see that for live applications, but I don't think that's going to work for me, because the only other way to do that is if I put this, hooked that up, instead of a 1/4-inch cable, hooked that up to... Actually, wait, I probably could do that. There's an output here. Let me just go ahead and show you another scenario here. Alright, so you see that over there? That is the output to the amp. It is actually it's going into there, okay? With my USB, or excuse me, my Euphoria audio interface. Now what I could do is, after I do that, I could put this directly into the DI box, and then patch the DI box into this. So what I could do is effectively is just leave the DI box up here. Just leave it sitting here. Patch this into here, and then this, the output, goes into here. Okay, because that's an instrument level thing. So I may try that way instead, because I have more effects on the bottom here. You can't really see them, but I've got more effects that's coming out from the effects loop going down to these effects. And that's a looper and my Zoom MS50G effects pedal. So all that is going to be contained in this box. So it may even be better. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do two different ways. I'm going to do guitar to all the effects out to the audio interface. And then I'm going to try all the effects and everything out to the DI box into the interface. Because the 11 rack is actually being fed to the interface, and that's how I'm getting it here. I'm not getting it through a digital signal, because the digital signal is what's giving me my dry signal. Now, depending on how I use my inputs from Traction, I can use the UMC as my input. If that's the case, that will cut down the noise. Or I can use the actual 11 rack, and there shouldn't be, I wouldn't think there'd be a whole lot of noise there anyway. And a lot of that may depend on how I decide to record, because I may have to do it from the guitar into something else from there. I don't know. Man, there's a lot of configurations. I like to stick with one, though, okay, rather than having to bounce back and forth. I'm not going to test it with Traction, my DAW, or anything like that today, but that might be something to consider later on. Okay, so let's get back to trying this bad boy out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an ordinary patch cable, and I'm going to take and hook this up. Make sure I'm hitting the right thing. Yeah, I'm going to take and hook this up down to the floorboard. I'm going to patch it into the wah pedal, and it's going to go from the guitar to the input. I'm just going to leave it on instrument. Leave it on flat. I may put the filter on later. Well, yeah, that's flat, and then I'm going to leave the ground off. Or it says ground or lift. I'm just going to leave it on ground. So we're going to try this, and we'll flip the switches around and see how that works, all right? Today I'm using my Ibanez SA130 MFM with Seymour Duncan pickups in it. It doesn't originally come with that, but it comes with, I think, Ibanez pickups. But when I bought this, I bought it used, and somebody else had put Seymour Duncans in it. So they sound amazing. The problem is you have single coils, and that sounds terrible with when you want to shred. So you have to have a lot of noise gate and things like that. So maybe this can eliminate some of that hiss and some of that hum. I don't know. We'll find out. So let's try this. Go ahead and put the patch cable in. I'm going to put this on the output. Okay. Reach down here. Put the guitar input underneath the headphone jack, because we don't want that in there. And then I'm going to hook up the patch cable to the wah pedal, and we'll see how that sounds. Actually, I want to show you how it sounds before, okay? So let me give you an example of what I'm hearing and what I'd like to change. Hopefully it will change it. Okay, so before I even plug the DI box in, here's what I'm getting, okay? So I'm right now on a clean setting, and you just heard a little bit of buzz there, probably. Okay, so here it is with the rail pickup full on. You can already hear that. It's very annoying. Roll the tone off a little bit. Okay, very bright, very chirpy. Let's go down to the single coil. Roll the tone back up. Immediately, hear that? We're going to have hum because they're not hum canceling pickups, obviously. But this is a clean setting. It should not be humming like this. It's ridiculous. Okay, so if I put the gate up, then it's going to be even worse. I turn the gain down. Let's just do this. Let's turn the gain down of the amp, and then we have this problem. It may be coming through you, but I can barely hear that. Now I can turn my audio interface up a little bit, and you can hear that a little bit better probably. Not too bad. But there's some hum there, you can hear it. If I roll the tone off, hum disappears kind of. Then you got this really almost too muddy tone. Pulls out the snap, the spank that I like. Okay, then I can roll the volume down. And that cuts it off pretty good, but then I don't have the high output that I need. So if I turned up the amp gain now, okay, so the volume knob is all the way up. If I turn it down just a little bit, roll it off, then it, kind of kills it. So that may be what I have to do for a single coil. But I can't record with that in the background. I mean, obviously, can't do that. So, let's go ahead and turn this back down a little bit on the audio interface. And then when I put it between the two middle ones, I have this wired so that I think it is... Somehow the guy reverse wired it, the guy that I took it to set it up recently. Because before they were massively outputting, I don't know why. And these weren't canceling out like they should be, so he wired it to where it's supposed to be. But it's weird because it completely lowered the output of this guitar. I don't know why. No tone whatsoever, right? But obviously now it's hum canceling because there's two pickups. Let's take it to the middle. Once again, there's the hum. Turn the volume down. Get rid of the hum. Tube Screamer on that. We got some more hum. Okay. We definitely don't want a lot of hum. Now put it on the bottom two, and this is what's weird. to me, this should cancel this out, because then if it was a regular humbucker, single humbucker, you would have the first coil mixed with this, and it would cancel out the hum. It's not doing that. And when I took it to the guy to fix it, this didn't fix. I don't remember what he told me the reason it wouldn't work, but I don't know why. But I think, in my opinion, what's happening is the middle and the two coils of this one is still together. So we have an odd number of pickups, which is why we still have hum. Roll the volume off. Then you don't get the power that you need. Okay, so then we get to the full humbucker. What I've been having to do is use only the back pickup. Now, this is totally, you know, legitimate, because if you think of Tom DeLonge of Blink-182 and some Eddie Van Halen guitars, if I'm not mistaken, their signature guitars, or the guitars that they've owned, have only had one pickup, and that is the back one, because that gives you the most bite, the most growl. But I wanted to buy a guitar that had usable Stratty type sounds, and as it is, I don't have that. And the gate on the 11 rack seems to be all or nothing. I can't really figure out how to tweak it to where it's a little more subtle. But anyway, I've been having to take this and roll the tone knob down to get a humbucker in the neck sound. And here's the hum. I roll the tone all the way up to get my bridge sound. I roll it down to just where I can hear the tone change. Not a lot. And then I'm ready. But that's still not as good sounding as... Okay, so you don't have that quack that you need from this kind of guitar. Alright, so that is the clean setting. Now, let's go to my preferred shred setting, which on the 11 rack is number H1 metal spread. I'm going to go ahead and put on, well, before I do that, here's what it sounds like. Pick up. Prepare your ears for that. Let me just go ahead and turn that down a little bit. Okay, so that's my Paul Gilbert preferred setting. And once again, I usually have to roll the tone knob off. Right about there, it gives me that neck sound that I need. Okay, I usually like to leave the delay, reverb, and the modulation on. This setting is kind of a widespread chorus and a widespread delay. I'm trying to work on that. Still got a little work to go, but I'm working on it. Okay, that's the neck, you know, quote unquote, and then roll the tone up, and then we have bridge again. Okay, so that's what I've been having to do, is mess with that. Now, if I take this and switch this back, we have the single coils again. Now that sounds pretty good. Okay, the gate is actually working pretty good. That is the neck pickup. But you hear a little bit. Hear that? Just by tapping the strings a little bit. It's not completely there, but it will be heard on a recording. Now, if I go to the two middle, it's going to completely dive bomb the volume because of the way it's set up. What I have to do is actually take the gate and move it down because it's just too it's not enough power coming through for the gate to kind of ignore it. See, some of the pick strokes aren't coming through. Almost sounds like a lipstick pickup. I like that sound of it, but you really have to crank the power to get it to work. Then we go to the middle one here. And you just hear it at the very last part of it. Hear all that noise? The gate's hitting it, but it's hitting it pretty hard to keep that from happening. And we got the these down here. And then full humbucker. There's no roll off at the end. See, like with this, you got the that bzzz. You don't have that with the humbucker. I could probably take the gate down a little bit more and not hear any hum at all because of the way, you know, the pickup works. Okay, so that's what we're working with. Now, let's take this and put the DI box into the chain, see what happens from there. It might not do much before the effects, but it may do a lot after I put it in the chain after the 11 rack. So let's try that out. I'm really curious to see how that's going to work. Just going to leave it full power, full tone, rolled up, and back pickup here. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, now as far as I'm aware, this is not battery powered, so it should just work. I don't think I've seen any DI boxes that required battery power. This does not have any kind of, let me check, I don't think it has any DC voltage thing on it at all. Nope, so it's just supposed to work, period. Okay, so remember the ground switch is engaged. Everything else is just engaged. It's flat. It's not on a filter. It's on the instrument instead of amp, and the ground switch, it's on ground instead of lift. So let's see what we got now. Very interesting to find this out. I forgot to even put any. Well, I did the tube screamer, but let's see what it sounds like. About the same levels, so I don't have to worry about it being too loud. That's cool. That's once again the middle, the back pickup. Let's roll the tone down a little bit. Nice. It feels a little cleaner. Now let's go to the neck pickup. Okay, really curious to see if this is going to have a lot of noise. A little bit. Still there. Yeah, still there. It's the middle. Still there. Still there. And then this is the humbucker again. Okay, let's go back to clean setting. Okay, neck, I can already hear some hum. Let's turn that amp gain up a little bit. Yeah, you can definitely hear it. I'm not sure if it's a cleaner hum. Let's do Ibanez Tube Screamer. Definitely hummy again. Okay. There's the middle one. And the fourth position, or the second position if you're going from the bottom. Lipstick position, I like to call it, right here. Alright, so the next thing to do is start flipping switches. I'm going to leave it on the instrument, not the amp, because that's what we're going through. Let's try the lift position. We're on ground right now. Let's try the lift position. So that is close to the Xlr output. See what this does. Strum a chord and flip it and see if anything happens. It does something. Let's read this again. Using the ground lift switch, you can fully separate the output and input grounding, depending on how the equipment to which your DISP is connected is grounded. Depending on where you know, how it's grounded itself. Using the ground lift switch lets you lower hum, noise, or ground loops. When the ground lift switch is in lift position, the ground connection is interrupted. So, I don't know exactly what that means. Not getting a whole lot out of this. Let's try the filter thing, okay? Okay, the filter says guitar applications 7.5 kilohertz, negative 3 decibels. I am not hearing a difference. Let's go to the amp thing, just in case. Turn this down and see what happens. Now we're on amp instead of instrument. And I don't see anything happening. I'm not seeing much happen at all, to tell you the truth. So let's try on the metal setting here. Okay, try the lift position again. Filter. doing something, but I don't know what. I can't really see much of a difference. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try to disconnect it and put it in from the 11 rack going into the audio interface. See how that works out. Not the prettiest thing in the world. See how that's tricky there? It looks terrible. But we will try to get a better look at that. Now, I can't really do much with that here. So I'm just going to guess I'll just turn it back on my hands here so you can see me. Alright, so let's try messing around with that. I think it's still on the ground. Yes. Okay. So we have input. We're going from the output of the amp. Let's just show you that one more time. Okay, into the bottom, guitar is going into the wah pedal. It's going into the Ibanez from the wah Tube Screamer. Hold on a second. I should be able to lengthen this camera so you can see it better. Alright, now we got some length. So, as you can see, this cord is from the guitar, direct into the wah pedal, which goes into the Tube Screamer, which goes into the Joyo Overdrive, Ultimate Overdrive. That is actually going up into the guitar input here. And then the other two pedals are going into the back of the unit, of the 11 rack, into the effects loop. Okay, so I've got the looper and the Zoom MS50G into the effects loop. So I can use it for like Octaver and some things that's not on the 11 rack itself. Okay, so now we're going to erupt. All of this is going to be going into the box. So we have all this being redirected to the output. To the output of the 11 rack. It's going around and into the DI box. And then the DI box is going out. The output is going into the Behringer audio interface here. Okay, so now all the effects are being routed through the DI box before going to the audio interface. So let's see what we have there, if that even helps. Okay, it'll be nice if I can get rid of some of this noise. Now, this may be different with other guitars because I would have, hum canceling and things like that. But we'll see what it looks like now. So we're going to stay on the metal spread. I'm going to leave it on the humbucker pickup. And let's see what we got going on from there. Okay, nice. Roll the tone off a little bit. Alright, just for fun, let's put the Joyo Ultimate Drive pedal on. This is the kind of a knockoff of the full tone OCD, I think it's full tone, OCD overdrive pedal. That's what Paul Gilbert used for a while, and this is kind of his, works better than the Tube Screamer for this particular setting on the 11 rack. that's with the overdrive on. Let's go ahead and switch that off and put it on the neck pickup now. Still some of that there. And there's the Wi-Fi in the picture being recorded.
How many family tea bags do you do per gallon?
3.
3?
Yeah. I think that's actually got it better. Let me get the tone back all the way up. Not quite. Oh man. Let's just strum a chord and go through the different pickup settings. Still some noise there. Alright, let's try the ground lift here. It's on ground, now it's on lift. Back to ground. Now here's another thing, okay? I don't know if you noticed this earlier, but depending on where I'm at, this can change. So if I go back to, let's say, the single coil. Hear that in the end? All right. If I'm somewhere else, like usually if I lean forward, it's not there. Hear that? It goes back and forth depending on where I'm at. Matter of fact, let's just take the gate off. You'll be able to see that a lot better. There's the gate. Right? Completely off. Watch what happens when I lean different places. There's definitely a sweet spot around this area. It's even better there. But obviously I can't record my guitar like this all the time. Can't do it. Right there, that's pretty good, but I can't, obviously, once again, I cannot record my guitar like that. Okay, so let's go back to the, let's go to the filter flat. That's an amp, an instrument. I don't know what to say on this other than I don't know if the box is doing much at all. It's got a lot of good reviews. Excuse me. And I'll leave a link below if you're interested in trying it out yourself. I'll leave a link below the video here. It's got a lot of good reviews on it. But I'm not sure what's happening with it. I don't know how this thing is supposed to work in here. I can see it going well plugging in in a show or on stage or something. So I've seen many situations where people need a DI box. So I'm obviously going to keep it for my personal use in case I ever need one. Now I have one, but I don't know if it's going to be good for recording. In that instance, they say to get it good at the source before you record. So what I'm going to have to do is just work on getting better quality of guitars and using humbuckers for the most part. Now I do have a brand new guitar, and you may or may not have already seen the video on that, and it's It's very exciting. I can't wait for you guys to look at it. You probably already know it by now. But can't say how this will really help in my studio, the way it's set up. Maybe one of these days I'll have an actual studio. I don't have to worry about all the... I think there's just bad wiring back here, and everything's been feeding off of each other. I know I have everything plugged into maybe 2 or 3 surge protectors. Like, everything is just crammed into there. So that has something to do with it probably. But, I mean, I don't really know how to make it better, short of unplugging everything and doing one thing at a time. And I don't know, even then, if that'll help. So, that would be nice to get like a music consultant or a recording studio consultant to come to my house and look at this or something like that. But I don't know anybody like that. Well, maybe I do. I might know somebody in mind that I can come and check that out, or give me some better suggestions. But anyway, for now, I think that's all. I didn't go back to the clean setting because it's really not. There's no point in it right now. So what I'm probably going to do is just leave the DI box on the shelf for now. I mean, it might do me some good plugging it in anyway. I might get better signal. I don't know. But I know one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on YouTube and research this thing to death and see exactly what I need to use it for, if it's even going to help me in this situation. But that, as far as a review, I can't give it my review because I didn't really detect it doing much of anything right now. But that may just be because of my situation. For you that need a DI box, I mean, I highly recommend Behringer's gear. I love their audio interface. It's served me well. I didn't have to spend, buku-doodles of money on some of the, more popular ones that are various colors. Red in particular. I won't name any names. That'll give you a good hint. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just know that it costs more than what this did, and this has buku-doodles of outputs. 2 inputs is all I need, and tons of great settings on it for the Euphoria. So I'll leave a link below to the DI box, and yeah, and you can definitely use that link as well to search for other gear that I've mentioned on here, and check that out. Those are affiliate links, which means if you purchase on the website, that I will get a small commission, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So if you like this channel, I appreciate you supporting it with your buying the gear that you love as well. So thank you so much for watching. I think that'll sign it off for now, and I can't wait to get into some more videos. As far as upcoming things, let me go back to a normal setting so you don't see 3 of me here. As far as what's going on with YouTube right now, I'm in the middle of releasing to you guys brand new content of the Gilbert family playing at Mount Crest, but we actually recorded it and played it in September of 2018. I just kept forgetting that I had the videos on my phone. We recorded them with my phone instead of my video camera. That's why they kind of slipped by me. Other than that, I've got some unboxing videos coming out, some gear, and some new things that people have been sending me so that I can kind of review here on the channel and on my blog. But I am very excited. In other news, besides that, I'm very excited to share with you the release of bluegrass guitar arpeggios, and that's over here. I'll be able to show you that here in just a second. Let's get some things out of the way here. I just launched the new page, the official page of it. You'll be able to see that right here. Here it is, bluegrass guitar arpeggios. You can go to bluegrassguitaressentials.com. and go to, you don't have to type in the products. The official link is bluegrassguitaressentials.com/arpeggios, and that will take you to this page. So you can see I put a lot of time and a lot of work into this, okay? As you scroll down, you get to see all the different things about it. This actually was playing earlier, so if I redo it, it'll automatically play. And this is on mute for some reason. I think it's just because of my personal settings. But you'll be able to see the intro video to the course and give you an idea, maybe a little taste of what it's about. And you can keep going. You can see what you'll be getting from the course, some testimonials, what learning arpeggios can do for you, and just some other design elements and things like that. I won't, scroll through the whole thing, but you can see some little teaser elements and things like that. But if you want to experience that, please go over to bluegrassguitaressentials.com/arpeggios. You can see the link there at the bottom of this video, this page here. So I appreciate your time, appreciate you watching. And like I said, I've got several more videos coming out. My focus on YouTube, I would like to be this year more performance-based rather than lesson and teaching-based. I've found a a lack of and a desire for more creativity, more playing, more getting better on my instrument, and just playing for you guys. And that's what I'm probably going to, well, not probably, that's what I'm going to I'm going to kind of target this year for my YouTube channel, is trying to get more performances down. And because some of my favorite people that play guitar, they don't do a lot of lessons. They do performances, and people love their videos because of their skills. And I've been trying my best to work on my skills on shredding and other things. And I really want to hone in on my excellence on the instrument, particularly in electric guitar is concerned. Still play bluegrass, still love bluegrass, still doing bluegrass tabs. You can see that at bluegrassguitaressentials.com/tabs. Every now and then there will be some of those. But for now, that's exactly what I want to do, is just perform more. I've got 700 plus videos on instruction pretty much. And I like doing gear videos like this. This is fun, overviewing things like this. But for the most part, I just want to play. I just want to enjoy playing for you guys and entertaining you guys through playing. And that will help some of you who complain a lot about me talking so much. Well, my videos usually are based around talking because I like to explain things. I like to make sure that you get it. And I like to just, I'm passionate about this stuff. So that's where I'm headed. And that's what's going on. You can get your own merchandise if you check out ericbeatty.com/swag. You can get the nice Bluegrass Guitar Arpeggios Have You Bluegrass Today shirt, as well as many other shirts and many other materials there. If you go to ericbeatty.com/swag, check that out. And we'll be seeing you guys on the flip side on another guitar video. Stay tuned for that because it's a brand new unboxing coming up. And it's a brand new guitar that I've got, and you will not want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. God bless.